it's another segment, and we've gone so long that this is going to be the Batman segment, right?
So where are we starting at with Batman? From 89, Tim Burton, or before? Did you guys even watch?
Yes. So there was an Amazon Prime Day recently, and all the Warner Brothers movies were like way cheap, and so all the Batmans were cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So we all ordered a bunch of them, and my roommate ordered the first 4 Batman movies, and I did not want to order the first 4 Batman movies.
I get that.
Because
I understand.
2 of them are pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up, he moved out last week, and so I was binge watching. Like I was really trying to get through all of these Batman movies, and I texted Jason and I said, "Hey, I'm watching the 2 Tim Burton and 2 Joel Schumacher Batman movies. We should talk about this on the podcast."
Yes.
Batman movies.
So 1989 was the first Tim Burton Batman.
Batman.
What do you remember of that? Jason, do you
Tim Burton
remember
Batman
of the first Batman movie?
Oh God! Okay, so I had to have been I think I was in 3rd grade when it came out. 3rd grade. So I remember I really wanted to see it. That was kind of around the time when I talked about I got my first comic book. So I was really I really wanted to go see it. So my aunt took me. We had it was Batman at the house. We had the poster.
Yeah.
We had Batman and Bob the Goon figures.
I had the Bob the Goon.
Yeah. So we were all in. This was 89. I'm in 3rd grade. This blew my mind.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and to this day, I fucking love the first Tim Burton Batman.
It was legit. It felt legit.
It felt
like a real Batman movie.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, the only superhero movie was Superman.
Yeah, the
and
4
Supermans.
Superman and
I
Batman.
still love the first Superman.
The first 2 Superman. Well, I mean, if you watch the Donner cut of Superman 2, there had been really nothing between the 2 of them.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I guess you got to say that the Adam West TV show, there was a movie, right? It started with a movie, right?
I don't know if it started. I think it might have started as a movie, but I know there was a movie.
That first one where he's running with the bomb, that thing that we've always seen, right?
It's charming. I mean, the Adam West Batman is eternally charming. It's goofy. It's
got layers, and it's got kind of winks to the adult audience.
About all the episodes. I mean, they used to show that back in the day, because I was in the throes of Batman, right?
Yeah.
So I found a book called Batmania. And it was basically a book all about the 1960s Batman. That's how I first heard about it, when I was 9 years old.
I had the trading cards. I read the novelization.
Yeah, you were all in.
I was excited.
Yeah, that was 2nd grade. So you said 3rd grade, 2nd grade for me.
I was 12.
There was the Batman trading cards for the movie.
Yeah.
And me and my friend Dusty, actually, we would collect them. We were obsessed with them, and then we got them confiscated by the teacher.
But party pooper.
Those Batman cards, man, those were a whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm. You all playing with them during class?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that first Batman, I remember that summer. Everybody had Batman shirts that had the Batman logo on them.
Too.
It was so huge. It was a cultural. It was
an event.
Yeah, it started the trend of having Batman appear behind someone in their face, and the criminal turns around and he says a cool line.
Yeah,
and he goes, "I'm here."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then later he goes, "Swear to me."
Yeah,
he's always getting somebody's grill with his bat breath. Each iteration of Batman,
they have to have a thing that he says, right?
Bad bat breath.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where's Rachel?
Yeah, that first one where he pulled the guy. He's like, "Who are you?" I'm Batman.
Yeah,
that was so iconic, right?
And
then Jack Nicholson as the Joker was great.
Think about the future.
Yeah, you ever dance with the devil?
You know what? I think my favorite line of his after watching it again a second time, for the 500th time, but first time as this age, is whenever he shoots Carl Grissom.
Yeah.
He shoots Jack Palance 15 times with his gun. And then he just kind of laughs to himself and kind of walks off and goes, "Oh, what a day."
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite line.
Oh, it's amazing.
Delivery.
Yeah.
So he made a shitload of money from that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because he negotiated for a percentage of the gross.
Oh, smart.
And so whenever you watch the Blu-ray of the first Batman movie, all the interviews that they have, there's any interview where it's Jack Nicholson, he's just bragging about how much money he made and how he knew how much money it was going to make.
Yeah.
I made
Therefore,
a
part
of
of
money
his
on this.
negotiation for his contract was I get a certain percent of the gross. That movie made him the reason that he can, live in his house now at the age of 88 and just do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Is because of the Batman
Get
movie.
away with doing Polanski shit a long time ago, and nobody cares.
Right.
Yeah, Michael
Right.
Keaton's bragging still, I'm still the Batman.
Yeah.
They're like, Jack Nicholson, are you still the Joker? And he's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm the Batman.
I know I got a lot of money.
I wipe my ass with $100 bills.
Yeah.
I just recalled it having so
you
many
can
like
say the
good.
Joker is whoever you want.
I just remember it had so many good one-liners. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Well, I definitely so going back and watching all the first 4 Batman movies, of course, the first Batman was the best, right?
Well, we were in missionary school, so I wanted to go see. We're in a tiny town in Pennsylvania. That one theater was like the Paramount, whatever, the Majestic in the middle of the town square. So they
you
knew
mean
I was
the
reading
town square?
Yeah, it was Hill Valley. And everybody knew that I was reading the book, and I had the trading cards, and I was super pumped. But it was PG-13, and I was 12.
Yeah.
So I wasn't allowed to go see it, because how would that make the family look?
Oh, yeah.
Most of the shit I got in trouble for when I was little was, do you know how that makes us look? So my kids are never going to have that conversation. I don't have a reputation in town.
The
There's no
primary
reason
emotion is embarrassment
for them
right?
to worry
So-
about how their actions make me
Not
look.
afraid of social shaming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I've got jerk-off jokes on the internet
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Anybody can find them.
That's right.
Do you want to hear me doing an Indian accent on the internet?
Indian, what did we do last time? Indian Bill Cosby?
Oh, yeah.
General pudding pops.
Oh, yeah.
But we couldn't listen to Prince because he was gay, but they brought us Michael Jackson records instead.
There's some.
That's how they get you.
Patton Oswalt had that line. It was like, man, if I'd listened to Husker Du instead of Motley Crue back in the day, man,
Yeah.
shit would have been so much different.
So I was able to get a loophole. My sister was a couple of years older than me, so I was able to go with her to Batman at this theater in this little town, Ballasinwood, Pennsylvania. It was near Lancaster. And we had to go at night. That's how safe things were back then in 1989 in that little town. So
yeah.
nobody would see us. We snuck in the theater at night and saw
Because
Batman.
everybody went to bed at 7
The
o'clock.
12-year-old me and my 15-year-old sister. So she was above the line for PG-13.
Yeah, so she got
And
you.
it was sketchy to get at the ticket place. She was like, I'm his guardian.
Aw.
And I was like, thanks, Mom.
Your picture wasn't up. It wasn't. I can't sell to you. Yeah.
You're not allowed.
Yeah.
But Tim Burton was the perfect guy to do Batman at that time.
It was
so
so
really
different.
good-
Like it was almost very it was almost very 80s, but not.
Yeah.
It was like I know it was like 1989. I get that, but
Well, my former roommate was watching it with me, and he never watched the first Batman. He said the first Batman he remembered was Batman Returns.
oh really?
Um,
Man,
Tim Burton did Pee-wee's Big Adventure,
Yeah.
then he did Beetlejuice, and then he did Batman.
that's a
And
hell
that
of
is
a run.
probably one of the best first 3 movies of a director in history, right?
Yeah. Then he did what? He did Edward Scissorhands after
He did,
that.
and then he did Batman Returns.
So
Yeah.
that's a streak, dude. That's
yeah,
a hot streak.
So many great movies.
He did some great movies.
Well, I felt like Jack Nicholson was a little old to be the Joker at that time. He was already pretty old.
Well, it wasn't like Cesar Romero where they painted over the goatee.
Yeah, like he had a mustache he wouldn't shave,
He
so
wouldn't
they
shave
painted over it.
So
yeah.
you watch it, especially in HD. You watch it like
I mean,
you can see the little
Chinatown, Jack
crinkles.
Nicholson would have been a perfect Joker. But he was a gangster. He was old,
Right. Well, then there was the whole thing about how when they cast Michael Keaton, there was a big fan backlash.
Yeah.
So everybody's pretending that these whole fan backlashes are some horrible thing that's happened. No, this is how
No,
fandom
it's
has
been
always been.
It's been around, except you just did it. You vocalized with pen and paper.
Right. Yeah, you had to actually write a letter.
I am not a crackpot.
Well,
Right.
everybody dreamcast Batman based on the bottom half of their face. If you got a pretty mouth,
Yeah.
boy,
Right.
Yeah.
you get to be Batman.
Yeah, who
Yeah.
had the best Batman mouth out of
Probably
everybody?
Kilmer. Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer
That's
did
very
have a good
nice-
Batman
Val
mouth.
Kilmer had a good
I do agree. I do think that George Clooney does have a good Batman face.
George Clooney was a good Batman in a terrible movie. That's my take.
Yeah.
He could have been, whenever he said that whenever they were filming it, he's like, I just played him gay. I was like, oh no, he's
Yeah.
gay.
Kilmer
know.
has almost cartoonish,
Yeah.
bottom half of the
Cartoonish,
face.
like
Mhm.
lips and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was such a huge backlash that they had to when they premiered the trailer, like literally people were buying, like the Phantom Menace situation. People were buying tickets to unrelated movies just to see the Batman trailer.
Yeah.
And that was that trailer basically made it to where that was like their reassurance to the fandom, saying that hey, no, this is not going to be some goofy ass Mr. Mom as Adam West Batman type of situation.
No, this is a legit dark movie. Yeah.
So yeah, I just remember how huge that summer was, because there wasn't, like we were talking about earlier, there was Ghostbusters 2 and there was Batman.
Yes.
And if you're 8 years old in the summer of 1989, that was an amazing summer.
Yeah, it was. But also I think Gremlins 2 also came out that summer.
Was that 89?
I think it was 89. Is it either 89 or 90?
Well, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade also came out that summer.
I love Last Crusade.
When it was
I think everyone does.
Tim Burton, it was the Batman subject matter, and it was Danny Elfman with his creepy little dun 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 dun.
Oh no, that was so iconic. There's never been better Batman music than the Danny
Elfman like
theme.
Intro from like when the credits start rolling at the beginning. Oh my god, that's amazing. And I'm partial to Danny Elfman anyway. So
yeah,
he
Danny
just
Elfman
got
was great.
Me Too'd for pedo shit.
Huh?
Danny Elfman.
He got Me Too'd?
Yeah.
Aw.
For little boy stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was a dude who rocked.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was a rock star.
Wait,
Maybe
you
he
said
had
little
too
boy
many-
stuff?
Maybe he had
Was
too
it
many
little boy
TikTok
stuff?
followers.
No way. He's like, I always thought Danny Elfman was straight. What are you talking about?
Yeah. He's
Are you going to
America.
shatter my entire reality right now?
This is America.
Yeah.
I think Danny Elfman is everything.
Yeah.
And everyone all together at the
Oh
same time.
goodness, I didn't know that.
So-
Aw.
What about Batman Returns?
Okay, so
we're all
yeah.
full hyped for that.
Right. So
yeah.
I
'Cause
went
this
and
was
saw.
so good.
I went and saw Batman Returns, and it was always kind of the redheaded stepchild of those first ones. Like, what do you think, Jason?
When I first saw it, the same aunt took me to go see it. When I first saw it, it was very, it was creepier to me. Definitely for sure. It's got more of
Seemed
a
like they're
with the
cramming in
whole
too much stuff.
with the
It's a-
Danny DeVito penguin.
and then like Dana, or my nose gonna be gushing blood. And he's like gushing
yeah, when
blood.
he's number one, he's when he's eating the raw fish.
Yes,
and then to
God.
bite on the guy in the like that was not what the studio signed up for.
No,
because the first one again, it was one of those. It was kind of a Star Wars situation.
They had too many
Whenever-
bad guys. They had Catwoman, Penguin. They had Walken was a bad guy. They had Harvey Dent was in there.
Walken was
It was
great
like,
in that
what?
movie too.
God.
So,
But yeah, it was definitely like you can almost kind of look at like the Star Wars, the Disney Star Wars kind of the same as, because the first one was so huge and it did so much money that they were like, Tim Burton, you can do whatever you want.
and I guess years
Please
of hindsight.
do whatever
will
you
come-
want to me, Danny Elfman.
oh God. I guess in hindsight, come back in hindsight now, but Batman Returns is a really fucking good movie.
Yeah.
I really like it.
It's
loved it.
so coming back to it. Number one, you know what the absolute best part about Batman Returns is, right?
You tell me.
Michelle Pfeiffer is Cat.
Hell yeah. Hell here.
She's
Hello
fucking amazing.
Well, we live and breathe, right? So
When I was sitting and I was watching Batman Returns, I was like, she is a feminist icon in that movie.
Oh,
she's amazing
in that movie.
She starts off as the taken advantage of meek secretary, and then she gets she gets brutalized by a man, and then she takes power. She does just everything she was.
The neon sign, remember? Hell here.
Hell here.
Yeah.
The way that she starts screaming and stuff, and then the first time she goes out as Catwoman, she basically, the guy's about to rape the woman, and she comes up and she scrapes his face and she beats the shit out of him.
Tic-tac-toe.
And then the woman's like, thanks. She's like, you make it so easy, and she flips away.
Yeah.
She was a great just anti-hero, feminist anti-hero or whatever.
Yeah.
She's the best part of that movie.
She's fucking great.
She's so good.
So she can fall under our praised, wonderful category we have on the Godawful Gospel Hour of strong, brave, feminist women that were portrayed that way before they made a big deal out of it.
Yeah, before
Princess Leia and Ripley.
Yeah, yeah.
They were great movies. It was great acting. It was a great character. It all makes sense, and no one was like, this is for everyone, and I'm shaking inside because of
right.
Well, it
was good. It was good because it was good.
It was
And
good
made
'cause
sense
it was good.
It was good because
Nobody had to get on a soapbox and go, "This never been Jennifer Lawrence is the first ever sci-fi superhero."
Well,
Yeah, right.
I put it this way: it was good because they were, they had a human element to it. It wasn't so campy. It wasn't like, you talk about, like when you do like people's interpretation of empowering characters is to talk down and just be shitty to people.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, now, I mean, and you say, I don't like you at all. I don't care if you're a woman or a dude. I just don't like you.
Well,
being a piece of
and
shit
again,
to
that
people.
kind of goes back to what we've been talking about in previous episodes that we recorded, where it's like that really exposes the writers, right? It exposes what their opinions are, what their attitude is. It exposes their characters.
Because it's a group full of studio execs in a room. They're more interested in virtue signaling to each other than writing a good thing.
Well, but then there's also people who have no life experience. Everything that they believe has been fed to them by Twitter.
Yeah.
And so they're like, well, I'm just going to say some bitchy thing, and that's good.
Yeah.
Whenever it's
dynamic.
bitchy, right? There's a definite difference between Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman and some of the more recent female characters that have been in these kind of shows.
They're heavy-handedly brave
Right.
and strong.
Yeah.
Right.
To make sure you get it.
Yeah.
But it also there's a different again though. I just think it's like, you can be strong, you can be brave. I'm fine with that. But it's all about like just sometimes these people are just shitty in these movies. They're just shitty people, and I just don't like them.
And it's that writer's room dissonance that I was talking about before, is that the people who are writing these characters think that they're making some badass character, but it really kind of betrays what's really going on with a lot of these people who are writing these things.
Well, the old reviews from the 79 Superman 1, a lot of the things they liked about it was that they put the man in Superman. They humanized him.
Right.
He was a dorky Clark Kent. And they can't humanize Batman because he's rich. So the only thing they use to humanize him is his trauma. His mommy and daddy died. So he's a real guy. And that's what they did with Ripley. That's what they did with Leia. That's what they did with Catwoman. They let them be a human first.
Yeah, right.
With human rights and human emotions before they went, it's a special lady.
Yeah.
But that's why I love.
She can't have any
This
flaws.
has never been done
Yeah.
before.
I mean, that's what I love. That's what I love about Ripley, though. She's a human, right?
Well, the thing about Ripley is that she was written gender neutral. So Ripley could have easily been a man
that's
in the
true,
script.
but but still, that didn't. Regardless of gender, though, it would have been a good character.
Yeah, because it is a human character.
It's a human character,
Right.
The one thing I remember about Batman Returns is, because it was the summer of like '92, I believe.
Yeah,
summer '92. So I remember staying home. During summer, I'd stay home. Watch TV. Just what you do on summer vacation, right?
Hell yeah.
So
Nothing.
Nothing exactly. I just remember there was like a episode of the Ginny Jones show, either Ginny Jones or one of those NBC
daytime.
One of those
daytime. Hey, I'm sick from school.
Fucking Triofs.
Bob Barker, R.I.P.
Yeah. So exactly. So one of them was like, today's topic, some talk show, is like, Batman is supposed to be for the family, but these kids went to see it and got scared.
Yeah.
And so it was
Those
like this
kids
big
are
thing.
pussies.
It was like, I went to this Batman movie and it was all, it was scary and this was not a superhero movie.
Is it Lorne Michaels went to? I didn't like. I was very scared.
I was so scared that I had to go do the Macarena.
It's a baby Lorne Michaels.
I hate to bring it back to The Simpsons, but that one thing was like, it's Lorne Michaels. Don't look at him. It's like, oh, Max Power.
You look so good in a wig.
He's ignoring him. It's so funny. But yeah, that's what I remember about Batman Returns. And I think because of that, like you mentioned, like it went really dark with it and weren't expecting it.
But it went dark in such a Tim Burton way.
In a Tim Burton way.
So I was watching, again, with my former roommate. We were sitting and watching Batman Returns, and I was like, dude, this is such a Tim Burton movie.
Yeah.
The whole thing with the giant rubber ducky boat that the penguin takes, and all the candy canes, and the penguins, and the circus people, and all
wispy black and white goth vines on everything, and wrought iron
so
gates.
like when you go back and watch it, you're like, oh, this is it. The first Batman had a lot of
creaky baby
what I would say
carriage.
is John Peters interference, a lot of studio interference, right?
Yeah.
Gay, twisty mustache, Tim Burton style. Oh my!
The first movie had a lot of like studio trying to say, no, you can't do that. And I would argue, in some cases, studio interference can be a good thing.
Sure.
I would argue that made the first Batman movie a much better movie, right? Mm-hmm. But the second one, they were like, this first movie made so much money that we're going to let Tim Burton do whatever he wants because he's obviously the golden boy, the king.
He's the golden goose right now.
So basically, what did he do? He made a Tim Burton movie, which is great. It's fine. I will say that as a kid, all I remember of that movie is, yes, the eating the raw fish and then my nose could be splurting blood.
Yeah.
And all the awesomeness that was the first, like, where I was like, hey, feminists kind of have a point. Whenever I saw the Catwoman.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I remember is the sides of the Batmobile knocking off when he went through that thin thing, and it was that tiny little missile-looking Batmobile.
Yeah.
That was the toy, right? That was the Batman Batmobile toy that had the sides get knocked off, right?
Catwoman's claws were the original girl putting keys in her fingers in the parking lot.
Hell yeah!
But
I went to it on a double date with my sister and her boyfriend, fiance, and I was 14, 15 with my girlfriend. And it was at Reston Town Center where I worked with Medlock. We had our little junior mafia later there. No one was allowed to go to Reston Town Center. My church tried to ban it because they had horoscope imagery on the fountain. Like there's a statue of Mercury. So they're like, the whole shopping center, the building's gay.
It's all Satan.
There's Satan's, the sidewalk's Satanists.
Hell yeah.
You can't go there. You're going to get somehow...
Yeah.
By playing D&D, you're going to worship the devil.
But I remember...
But we spent the whole dinner after the double date, me and my sister's boyfriend, just geeking out about the movie.
Yeah.
There's these two women sitting there like, oh my God. I didn't know we came for nerd time.
Yup.
We're like, shut up, women. The men are talking.
Yeah, that's the division right there. That's two dudes talking about how awesome Batman is and their two girlfriends going, yeah.
Ugh, you guys are so exhausting.
Yeah.
That's why you find someone that can talk about Batman with you. Right?
Yeah.
So, but I do
You'll
remember
never work a day in your life.
Yeah. I do remember two things. I remember in Batman Returns, it always sticks out to me. One is because everyone has their Saturday Night Live they grew up with, right?
Yeah.
So mine was the classic, Mike Myers, Dana Carvey,
Hell yeah.
Jan Hooks, Phil Hartman,
Yeah.
the murderer's row, right? So I remember Jan Hooks is one of the political advisors in it, and I was like, I didn't know there were more SNL people coming. Like, Wayne's World. I just saw Wayne's World, which changed my life.
Yeah.
Wait. There was an SNL person in Batman Returns?
Yeah, Jan Hooks. She's one of the political advisors for the Penguin, remember?
Okay.
She's the Southern lady.
Oh, the lady who...
She's like, hello, okay.
And then he's like, oh, I'd like to fill her voice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
now I remember now.
So there's that, which I love Jan Hooks. She was adorable, And then two, when when he plays the CD back...
Yeah.
For his speeches, I
play this stinking city like a harp from
and
hell.
He scratches it like a DJ record.
Yeah,
like,
that was the thing. Awesome. Yeah, me and my roommate, we were watching. I was like, yeah, that's how CDs work.
All the nerds were like, it's a series of ones and zeros, and it's impossible to scratch a CD like that.
Which would be hilarious if it was in real life. Scratch. You gotta be.
You know how many people have anti-scratch protection on their CD player in their car, and this guy's scratching it?
I know.
Stop scratching it.
So what's funny is that Jason, you and I, back when Batman versus Superman came out, you and I went and saw it together, and
just two old ladies going to the movie theater.
Just two old men drinking tea,
eating Werther's.
I at one point I leaned over to you and I said, "So Batman just kills people now?"
Yeah,
but in the Tim Burton movies, Batman killed people. That started the Batman killing things. That's
true.
There's the arguable about him killing the Joker because the Joker was going to get away and he shot him or whatever. But then there was also whenever he's flying the Batwing and he tries to strafe the Joker, he is shooting real bullets at the Joker and trying to blow him up. And the Joker pulls out the big long gun and shoots him.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
But there is some blatant Batman murder in Batman Returns when he puts the bomb on the guy and then kicks him into the sewer.
Throws him into thing, yeah.
Yeah, so there's some blatant Batman murder.
There's been a lot of good analysis of that rule in a lot of the movies about how eventually you're going to have to kill a motherfucker if you want to stop crime.
I know, but
there's no way to stop crime without...
It bummed me out when Superman does it, and it still bums me out now.
Yeah, Batman and Superman should be trying to never kill people, right?
Can't make a murder omelet without breaking a few justice eggs.
Like Wonder Woman.
Speaking of the Joker.
There was Tim Burton was a perfect Batman director, and I... more recently, I really was hoping that they would give Robert Rodriguez one after Sin City and 300 and everything that was happening at that time, it was looking like Frank Miller and Robert Rodriguez were going to do a Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah,
and then they fucked it so hard in the ass.
Oh, no.
With Dawn of Justice.
So when, Jason, you're our resident comicologist. When did Dark Knight Return? 86?
Dark Knight... I think it was either late 85, 86. I know it got delayed. It might have finished in 87.
But they were
I
cock
have
teasing
Dark
like
Knight
they were going to
Returns
do
and
that.
Year One over here.
Yeah, year one was after.
That's Frank Miller, right?
Yeah, that's Frank Miller. That was after. I think that might have been 86 also.
They were telegraphing it so much. They were like, Robert Rodriguez, Frank Miller, dark movie, superheroes,
Right.
Sure.
comic book. Come on, just fucking do it.
Just do it.
Well, he did. I mean, I don't know if y'all watched. They like James Cameron finally made Battle Angel Alita off the anime, the same one, and it was good. It wasn't bad. It's got that hokey dialogue you'd expect from a James Cameron movie, but it's a fucking impressive movie.
No, when I saw Battle Angel Alita or Alita Battle Angel, I like it's another one of those where my mind was perfectly split in half. When like, hey, this is pretty cool, and also this is so stupid.
Oh yeah,
there was one of those.
Yeah, but if it's
So then you got Joel Shoemaker.
All right, so
back to Batman. Sorry.
So all right, so Batman Returns comes out, we watch it, whatever, and then Batman Forever comes out, right?
Like, Batman movies are going to be great forever. We got two good ones. They're never going to fuck this
Batman
up.
Forever.
It's going to be
Forever.
awesome.
Infinite Batman.
So what I remember of that is I remember going and seeing it in a packed theater and thinking it was awesome. It was one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then this isn't the first time that I've watched it in the past 15 years, but definitely the last time I watched it, I remember it's probably been somewhere close to at least a decade ago. And then I watched it just now. And the first thing that I thought watching this movie was, how did I ever think this was good?
It's a lot of Tommy Lee Jones trying to be Jack Nicholson.
Yeah. And
I'm
that
crazy.
Just does not work,
smiley
right?
guy.
Right.
What
What do you remember of Batman Forever, Jason?
I remember going to see it. That's it. No. I was okay with. I mean, I was okay with it. Let's see. If Batman is an A, and Batman Returns is an A minus, I would give Forever a B minus C plus. Because it does some things well. I thought Jim Carrey as Riddler for the time was a pretty inspired choice. He's pretty damn good in it.
So in my notes here, it's Jim Carrey is Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Sure.
Jim Carrey just Jim Carrey'd all over the Jim Carrey game.
It's like Tom Cruise acting like an asshole. I'm just going to be myself for a while. You're going to love it.
I didn't mind Tommy Lee.
There's the big wings.
I almost said Tommy
Yeah.
Lee. Tommy Lee Jones is. I didn't mind him as Two-Face. He was fine.
Yeah.
I liked there's some cute stuff in it where it's like, I made you. It's like, was it Drew Barrymore and Debbie Mazur? I made you burnt toast or something.
Yeah.
Just
I
paraphrasing.
know, like Robin's a badass because he has an earring. He's a rebellious earring gymnast.
I took some notes while I was watching it. I was like, Chris O'Donnell is terrible. He has real youth intern energy at a church.
He's
Too
trying.
lame.
He's trying.
the youth
try
group
hard.
leader
Yeah.
that turns the chair around and talks
He's not
about drugs.
he's not the cool badass, bringing it back to earlier Charlie Sheen.
It was
He's not the guy that they're trying to make him, right?
Yeah.
So Shoemaker died in 2020.
Yeah.
One of the last things he did was House of Cards.
Really?
With Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
Which was a bit we used
Well,
to do
what's-
on this show about the boys.
Yeah, the
When
ball.
Kevin Spacey calls Jeff Bezos and
Yeah.
says, I watched your new program. I was
Yeah.
told there would be a boys in
Yeah.
it.
My boy.
Now, I've paid my Amazon subscription and I feel I was promised a debt. And you'll deliver to me some images of young boys, please, on Amazon.
What I remember most about that tells you how memorable it was. It was fun. I just remember the soundtrack.
Oh god, the soundtrack was
soundtrack was
great.
everywhere.
Both the Batman Forever and Batman Robin soundtracks are so good.
My wife has it on vinyl.
That's
CD,
not. No, that's the Tim Burton.
and she has have it on iTunes, masters. You know what I mean? So
Oh, can I borrow that CD and rip it?
sure, why not? Yeah, that's her. It's her.
No, I listen to the Batman Forever and Batman Robin soundtracks a lot.
So
They weren't Danny Elfman anymore?
Well,
they
they
were
were a different guy, and it's not the dun na 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 na.
I think it was
It's
James Horner, maybe.
No,
it was
it was a guy who has I've never heard of other than that. It's dun 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 dun
So,
dun dun dun.
Yeah, it was more a Toy Story.
It was very toy.
But the big thing I remember about Batman Forever is the fucking horrible video game.
Oh yeah.
The one where it's like, let's make it like Mortal Kombat,
Yeah.
side
Yeah.
scrolling. It It was just horrible, especially he played it on a Genesis.
Oh, it was the
my.
body scans of the real photos.
Yeah,
of the people
yeah, and like
standing
apparently Acclaim did the CG for the movie too, and you can tell it's very video gamey.
Yeah. Oh man, there's some scenes in Batman Forever where it's like panning through the city of Gotham.
Yeah, you can tell it's like a PlayStation.
Bad.
Yeah.
It looks like those old CG demo videos where they're like, "Here's what's possible with computer graphics."
Yeah, it's like playing Mega Race on the PC back in the day. Yeah.
So the whole thing about Tommy Lee Jones's Two-Face is the way that he played them, or / the way he was written, is so bad.
Yeah.
But Tommy Lee Jones is a really good dramatic actor.
I think he was overacting and leaning into it a little bit.
He was. He was basically trying to make it a cartoon. But then when you go and watch the Nolan Batman or anything, Tommy Lee Jones could have pulled off a really good Harvey Dent Two-Face that was more like the animated series.
Yeah.
Something a little bit more serious, a little bit more dramatic.
Dude, it would have been great if
he could have been great.
Two-Face.
So there was a lot of character moments with Robin and Two-Face. Since in this movie, Two-Face kills Robin's family, therefore he is like Batman.
Yeah.
There's maybe two lines at the end of the movie that gives a little bit of characterization to Two-Face. And it's like the last confrontation that Robin has with him. Because Robin did do the thing where he decided not to kill him, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, well, I got you now." And then they do the whole they do the Gwen Stacy cop-out, right? Where in the first Spider-Man movie, Green Goblin puts Spider-Man in the Gwen Stacy situation, but it's with Mary Jane and a thing full of people.
Yeah.
And yet Spider-Man somehow finds a way to save both Gwen or Mary Jane and the Thing. It's like complete betrayal of that moment from the comic books, obviously.
Yeah.
They do the same thing with Robin and what's her name, Nicole Kidman, with the Two-Face thing.
Why was Nicole Kidman like going to police meetings in lingerie? That was the one thing I didn't understand.
Because she wanted to fuck Batman.
Well,
from, like she gets her character gets
for us
introduced.
to
And she's
ask.
like, "I want to fuck Batman."
But in front of Commissioner Gordon, though.
She doesn't give a shit.
Oh, she
You know
Jason,
how
if a woman
she wants
wants
that
to go
back.
in a negligee to a police meeting, we don't question.
I live
That's
and breathe. You know,
I mean, she was hot in the movie.
Stop king shaming her.
No, I'm not king shaming. But the one thing I do remember, it's not even in the movie. Apparently, it was like something where Jim Carrey and Two-Face, it was either like a deleted scene or like behind the scenes thing, where Jim Carrey was acting like Jim Carrey, and then Tommy Lee Jones goes, "I will not sanction this buffoonery."
Yeah, no, it was when they met each other. The first time they met each other, like I guess Jim Carrey walks up to him, tries to shake his hand. He wouldn't shake his hand, and he goes, "I think that you're terrible. I cannot sanction your buffoonery. I can't stand you."
Yeah. So we said there's a lot of times in our house we just like something stupid and like, I will not sanction this buffoonery.
Nice.
Yeah.
Spare me this mockery of justice.
That's right.
That's from Transformers.
So there was a whole there was probably, they said something like half an hour cut from the movie that maybe would have made it a little bit deeper. It would have made it a little bit darker. There's some of those deleted scenes on the 4K.
Joel Shoemaker's wiki mentions how extremely promiscuous he was in life.
Oh yeah, he said he had sex with like 1,000 men.
So you wonder what those conversations with Kevin Spacey were like on House of Cards. It was one of the last things he did. A couple old nasties talking
old
about
grandpas.
the boys.
It's funny because when you watch the special features on these Batman movies, you kind of feel bad for Joel Schumacher. You're kind of like, oh, he's just and he's made some really good movies.
We remember the good stuff.
In between Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, he made A Time to Kill. That's a great movie. He made Falling Down.
Says that's how he got his
Too
notice.
much.
Yeah.
I didn't first notice McConaughey from that. It was Dazed and Confused.
No, that was the first movie that I really noticed.
That was the one he was on my
Oh,
radar.
Time to Kill?
Yeah.
The
Time to Kill. Yeah,
weird
I
thing
watched that in theaters.
The thing about, you know how I first learned about Tommy Lee Jones? It wasn't Batman.
The Fugitive.
No, it wasn't The Fugitive. I remember The Fugitive, but the first full thing I saw him in, my parents rented Heaven and Earth, an Oliver Stone movie.
Yeah.
It's about like a Vietnam refugee, who survives Vietnam and marries a soldier and tries to, live in America. Well, Tommy Lee Jones is the soldier she marries, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And he like blows his head off in the movie.
Okay.
Spoiler. Sorry, if you haven't seen an obscure Oliver Stone 1994 movie, big spoiler.
I'll watch it now. It sounds rad.
Yeah, it's a wild.
Heaven and Earth.
Heaven and Earth. Oliver Stone. I think that's what it's called. Heaven and Earth. or something like that. Look up Oliver Stone. It's in. Look up 1994 Oliver Stone movie. It's in there. But that's the first thing I remember him in. So.
Yeah. So Batman Forever at the time was this like amazing movie, and now it just hasn't aged well.
No,
I don't think it's.
I don't think Clooney played him gay because they put nipples on the suit. He was like, oh well, obviously.
Well, they put nipples on the suit in Batman Forever.
Put them on
you don't realize
in
that
movie.
You don't realize it now until you go back and watch it now. But he had nipples on the bat suit in Batman Forever.
The 4K really brings the nipples out.
Right. They should have had that in Batman Begins with the black guy. Lucius Fox.
Yeah.
Your suit looks like it needs nipples.
Yeah.
You want to be able to get hit in the head.
Puts a giant fake Mrs. Doubtfire.
You want to breathe in space. Looks like you need some nipples on there.
So I got through all of the first three, and then it was time for Batman and Robin.
Oof.
And so I was like, I don't even want to watch the movie normally, so I put on the Joel Schumacher commentary, and it's just 2 hours of him apologizing.
Everything gets worse and worse. These Nolan ones got worse and worse.
Yeah.
The Burton ones got worse and worse. Everything gets
like diminishing
shittier
returns,
and shittier.
right?
Yeah.
The Nolan one. I mean, if that's the worst one, then I guess it's a B plus.
Rises.
It's a B plus movie. So.
Yeah.
But
I went and saw. I remember going and seeing. Being really hyped for Batman and Robin because I love Batman Forever so much.
Yeah, the costumes, like they always like every time I saw it, they put the press shots out of like how like at the end of Batman and Robin they got the new costumes,
silver,
and then the ones that was like silver,
yeah.
It was edgy.
Yeah,
so
by
I always
that
get
time
hyped
it
for
just
that.
felt like a spectacle to me. I was like, okay, Alicia Silverstone, everybody loves her. That's got them, but there's
you got to have Arnold Schwarzenegger.
They're cramming like 5 villains in this time.
Yeah.
They can't stop.
And a bastardized version of Bane.
I think Schwarzenegger did the best of what he could.
No, Schwarzenegger, like that makeup was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Still looks good.
That was 95. I was 18. I was a man.
It was 97. Yeah, Batman and Robin. And then actually Uma Thurman she did a great job with what she had.
Yeah.
Like
there's
the jokes that she was like a drag queen, but that was kind of the because that's whenever the Joel Schumacher gay just really we're gonna make this
John
camp.
Waters again.
That was. But it's still so bad. It's such a bad movie.
Yeah, I watched it again.
Alicia Silverstone is terrible in the movie. She is absolutely
appreciate
horrible.
you doing the research for the show. I'm glad we all have to watch it.
Well, she's playing, like her character in Clueless in it, basically.
Yeah, but it's just like the most plain. Uncle Alfred, it's me, Barbara.
Yeah.
It's
she's in
so
a new
bad.
one with a crime drama with the Mexican.
I thought she retired to breastfeed her kids till they were 12.
No, she's in a crime.
Oh,
thing
she
with
one of
Benicio
those?
Del Toro.
Yeah, she's one of those
Benicio
breastfeed the
Del Toro's-
kids till they're way too old.
She's a cop's wife now in this new.
Okay, I'll have to look her up.
It looks good.
But
that was after Clueless, right? Batman and Robin?
Yeah.
No,
They're writing
It
Clueless
was
this.
like right around the
95.
same time.
Clueless was 95, Batman
Yeah.
Robin was
No,
97.
yeah, Batman
She was the new
writing
hot thing. They had to get the new hottest girl to be Batgirl, right?
They're riding the Silverstone wave.
Right.
The last thing I saw her in was like a Rob Thomas music video. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, she was in all the Aerosmith videos. She was
Uh-huh.
like the hot Aerosmith girl.
Yeah. I
Dictated
remember
90s style. All the girls
Yeah.
wore long socks and weird wristbands.
Yeah.
I like that we're talking more about other things than not Batman.
Yeah,
We're trying to
Batman-
avoid it.
Well, I mean, it's just there's nothing. Oh, we were sitting watching. My roommate was like, it's like the Adam West Batman. I was like, yeah, but the Adam West Batmans had something else to them that made them enjoyable that is missing from Batman and Robin.
It just looked like such a circus. I was like,
it
I guess
looked-
I'll just get high and watch this.
Yeah, it looked like freaking Moulin Rouge, Lady Marmalade.
It had a vibe to it. It was
the neon colors, and the gay Greek statues, and all that. You know.
Yeah, it was. If I were to give it a grade, I'd give it. I believe everyone did the best they could.
Are you gonna give it an IGN 7 out of 10?
Nah, I'd probably. Is there a grade between C- and D+? That's kind of how it's not the worst thing I've seen, but sure.
But at
great.
the time, God, in '97, that was the worst thing.
It was the worst thing in '97. But
yeah.
time and Batman v Superman changes things, right? So, it's not the worst thing I've seen. It's definitely not the best thing I've seen.
Remember they had the fake poster for Batman versus Superman in I Am Legend?
Yeah.
And I was so hyped. I was like, come on, Robert Rodriguez.
They were going to do
Frank
a George Miller Batman versus Superman movie.
Okay, the other Miller.
And then it didn't happen, of course.
Yeah, so Batman and Robin basically killed everything until and there was going to be because Schumacher says that he really wanted to do a Batman year one.
Yeah.
And then that was a rumor for a while. They're going to do that. Then there was there was a Batman and Superman movie that was rumored. They were kind of working on a few things. And of course, at the time that the Batman and Robin came out, Tim Burton was working on Superman. Superman Lives. So there's that whole thing that was going on at the time.
I'm sorry. Batman vs Superman. Wolfgang Peterson. That George Miller was going to do Justice League.
Okay.
And then Wolfgang Peterson of like Das Boot and Air Force One, he was going to do Batman versus Superman at the time.
Yeah, so all I remember is going, and it was a packed theater full of little kids. And at this point, it's 97, so I'm like 15 years old.
The movie in itself was a Happy Meal.
And that's one of the few, like, do you remember getting to that age where you could actually go down and watch a movie and just at the end of it say, this was terrible?
Yeah.
I remember walking out going, it's fine.
I remember walking out going, oh, that was bad.
You know,
even while I was sitting watching, like,
been
oh,
to enough
what is
movies,
this?
the novelty had worn off.
Yeah, once the
You could
novelty
actually
worn off and like
screen films
and
instead of watching a movie.
in the cold light of day, it was that was kind of okay. This was not great.
That happened to us with Star Wars Episode 1. We had a bunch of girls over because we had a rip-off of it on VHS. And we were trying to have a Star Wars party and everybody watch it. And the girls were talking during the movie. And I was thinking about telling them to be quiet. And I was like, you know what? I think this movie sucks and I'd rather get pussy. They can keep talking. This is horrible.
Yeah.
It had Arabic subtitles.
Awesome.
And it was very grainy. It was like somebody had mailed a VHS from India
From the streets.
of Phantom Menace.
Oh, that's wild.
Original bootleg.
So yeah, I also I remember they didn't really put any. You'd expect, they put a lot of games out for Batman Forever, just from a gaming standpoint. They put like one game out. I've played it on PlayStation, like emulation, and it is probably one of the biggest pieces of shit I've ever played. It's like a behind the back, it tries to be a third person, but Batman's so huge in it that he just obscures everything.
Now the games are better than the movies.
Yeah.
The Arkham games are better
Yeah, I
than
was
the
going to
last
say,
three Batman
so
movies.
I guess we can all agree, pre-Arkham games, right? The best Batman game was the original Batman movie game on NES, right? That's like a iconic platformer, right?
I will raise you and I will see you. Batman Returns by Konami on the Super Nintendo.
Really?
Hell yeah. It's a
Okay.
side-scrolling Final Fight type game with
Okay.
bitchin' music and awesome graphics and stuff.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's a great one. I'm trying to think if there's any other good Batmans. The first Batman for Game Boy was like a running gun, You get 4 hits, you're dead, They put out a Batman. They put out the Adventures of Batman and Robin on the Genesis, and it is a fucking brutal hard game. It's like one of the original bullet hell games.
And that's an animated series.
Animated
game,
series
right?
one, yeah. So Konami
Like
put
Battletoads, nobody ever got past that part.
Konami put an animated series one out too, but I haven't played it. It looked cool and like I saw it in EGM and stuff like that. It looked neat, but Konami from like, I don't know, like 88 to 95, I'd say, were God mode, right? And then they tried to do a bunch of CD, crap, and then finally they did like Castlevania and Metal Gear,
They ruined Metal Gear for all of us by pissing off Hideo Kojima, and he didn't finish
there's
5.
no more Metal Gear. I just remember that first Batman game was pretty great, and then Batman: Return of the Joker, which was kind of an animated series based game, I guess, was another one that they say was
pretty horrible.
No, pretty good, like one of the better ones.
Wait, Return of the Joker? Oh, Return of the Joker.
Yeah,
I'm thinking Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. That one got like shit on so hard.
So how many years was it between the Shoemaker era and the Nolan era?
It was 97 to
famine.
2005.
Yeah, it was 7 years.
8 years. Yeah,
It was
right.
8 years. So
Yeah. So I went through and I watched all the 4Ks and all the special features on all the first 4 Batman movies, and now I don't ever have to watch them again. That may be the last time I ever watched the first 4 Batman movies.
you memory
in my
hold
life.
them.
Say
Hey.
goodbye to them.
I've done all of it. I've completed them.
All right.
They are done.
You have closure? You feel like you have
I
closure?
have closure. I have closure with my childhood, because really, it's from the age of about 8 to the age of about 15. That's literally Batman was my childhood.
So before Batman '89 came out, the only other superhero movie was Superman.
Yep.
So all we had was the DC.
And I had the
Big
Super
Boys.
Friends. We had the Super Friends cartoon. I was real little.
Yeah. I
So I
remember
watched
that
those.
shape of an ice cube.
Yeah.
There were multiple I remember there were multiple versions of Super Friends. The one that I liked the most is the Challenge of the Super Friends, because that was the one that had like Lex Luthor, Sinestro, and,
Yeah,
all the good villains, right? They did one season of that, and then they did just regular Super Friends with the Wonder Twins and stuff like that, and like generic villains and stuff. After that, it was just after that. But if you want like a good ass like old school '70s superhero, go watch Challenge of the Super Friends. That's the best one.
All right.
But the world's view of superheroes in the 80s, 70s, 80s was like, of course, if you're going to make a superhero movie, you're going to make Batman and Superman. Those were the big hitters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But between 97 and, 2005, when Nolan movies came out, the waters had been muddied horribly.
X-Men came out in 2000.
Blade was 98.
Blade was
X-Men was
98.
2000. Spider-Man was 2002.
Yep.
So there was like some comic books movies had started taking off by that point.
Yeah.
And don't forget Daredevil.
Yeah, right.
But yeah,
Ben
by the
Affleck
time
did that.
Batman-
I won't back down.
By the time Batman Begin came out, it was like people were already getting a little weary
Yeah.
of all the superheroes movies.
Yeah.
By 2005, it was like
John
I'm the Juggernaut bitch had already come out.
It was a breath of fresh air. Batman Begins was.
Especially because like the next year, that's when X-Men: The Last Stand came out, and it was I'm the Juggernaut bitch.
Yeah.
Well, again, like how they
humanized
humanized Superman and put the man in Superman, they grounded Batman and took it down to the.
No, there's no supernatural stuff in this movie.
Yeah.
What's everyone's take on Superman Returns? What y'all think of that one?
Dude, it's so forgettable. I remember Brendan Routh did a good job.
He did a good job.
Mimicking Christopher Reeve.
Uh-huh.
But other than that, like, it was kind of boring.
That's another one where I was trying to convince my girlfriend afterwards that it was good.
Yeah.
Just because any Superman movie, I love it.
There's a part in it, like spoilers again for another like almost 20-year-old movie, but there's a part in there where
Almost 20-year-olds don't say those things.
sorry.
I was in the theater when I was 2 for Superman, and I yelled, "I wish I could ride on his back!" And everybody laughed. My parents told me.
There's like a part in Superman Returns where like he's like in his. I guess you find out like he has a son with Lois Lane. You didn't know, like out of wedlock or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's talking to his son. I forget what he was saying, but I remember at the time I was really touched by it.
Yeah.
Just when you go through a thing, different.
Yeah, it was.
things
I thought it was
you.
good. I thought Man of Steel was good. I'll watch. I'll enjoy any Superman story.
I was it made me verklempt, and my brother and my wife are sitting next to me, and they're just laughing at me. They're just laughing. He's creeping in his room.
Yeah.
Like, just you've ruined all gravitas for me in this. So that's all I remember about Superman Returns is it made me emotional, and then I got laughed at.
Well, then Man of Steel, there was no man in the Superman. He was an alien, and it was kind of a racism message. Like you
Man
don't
of Steel
understand
was
him.
Stupid.
Yeah.
It was. He ran into the fucking tornado. What the fuck's your problem,
I don't
Kevin
care.
Costner?
It had General Zod. I loved it. I
like General. I thought
Michael
Shannon was a
Penis.
good General Zod. I thought that was good. I feel Henry Cavill was great as Superman, but
Henry Cavill was amazing in anything, but he was. I wanted him to have a Superman where he could be Superman instead of gritty Zack Snyder dark world. That really sucks for Henry Cavill.
That sucks
if
for
he didn't
him,
get to be
dude.
the Christopher Reeve Superman.
I hated he had to be the guy that he's the guy that killed Zod.
Yeah,
I was really bummed about that. I was really bummed. I guess because I was a traditionalist, I still kind of am.
Yeah.
But I know eventually everyone has to get killed. But it was just. Did you have to?
So where did y'all go see Batman Begins at? At the Alamo here? Or
Shit.
so
So Superman Returns I saw at the Alamo Draft House, and I had to sit in the handicap. Like, they didn't have a seat for me. It was before there was assigned seating and all that.
Yeah. You had to sit in the gink section.
Batman Begins I saw in San Marcos at the movie theater there with Wes, with my friend Wes.
Yeah.
That was when I saw Batman Begins.
I saw Batman. I saw both of those in Abilene. So.
Yeah, you were there then. It was 2005.
Yeah, I didn't move here till 2009.
Yeah.
So.
I can't remember where I saw Batman.
We saw
Begins
Watchmen together at the Draft House. When I came to visit, I came to scope out the area.
Yeah, I guess you and I did.
Is it
watch
still
Batman.
raining? Because every time I'd come, it'd rain.
Yeah. Oh, right. I forgot about that.
So,
Batman Begins was a dark time in my life. In my 20s, I don't remember a lot of it. There's a lot. 2005, it was like
the Blur.
Yeah, I know I saw a lot of cool movies, but I can't remember. And because I had moved here in '04, and the draft house was like, yeah, drink and go to the movies. And I was like, okay.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm following instructions.
It's right around that time. The first Draft House movie I ever saw was Chronicles of Narnia.
I think Watchmen was mine.
We went and saw The Dark Knight Returns, or The Dark Knight, whatever.
Yeah.
At,
I saw Dark Knight at Alma Draft House, definitely.
We saw it at the IMAX.
Yeah,
Bob
I saw
Bullock.
Rises. And, I saw Inception at the IMAX. It was fucking awesome. That was one of my favorite.
I saw Dark Knight Rises at the IMAX up north.
Okay, so
Not the Bob Bullock.
My favorite part about Dark Rises is that stupid kid sings the national anthem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh, and
Yeah.
then Batman Begins had Joffrey in it as the little boy.
Yeah.
Please, Batman,
Yeah.
save me. And
That's
everybody
when
didn't know they were going to hate
I
that guy.
immediately recognized him.
Joffrey was in. Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's the little boy that is in the Narrows. It's the Narrows, right?
Yeah.
I didn't like the little kid that played Bruce Wayne though. I wanted to punch him.
I wanted to see more tar-covered, monster-faced Dream Nightmare Batman. That
Yeah.
was cool. Make a whole movie of that thing.
Yeah.
The Demon Bat. But I horribly viciously, my pregnant wife made her go to the Bob Bullock Theater with me to see Dark Knight. And she got a poster from a little kid.
Yeah.
Some little kid had 2 posters, and she was like, can I get one of those for my husband? And the kid's parents were like, what the fuck, lady? She was like, he's got 2, and my husband doesn't have any of them, and I'm pregnant.
I need one.
So give me it.
Yeah.
She had to pee the whole time.
So the Flash dropped on Max this week.
Yeah.
What's your over/under watching it?
I watched the first 5 minutes of it
Uh-huh.
off of Friends Plex server, and I was like, "Yep, it's dumb."
Correct.
Click.
Yeah,
Correct. Yeah.
I just do not like Ezra Miller.
I don't either.
Like, not
Well, anybody
Just
who doesn't
wanted
like
international
Ezra Miller,
villain Ezra Miller.
yeah.
anybody who doesn't like Ezra Miller is kink shaming and transphobic. So you're
I'm
the
sorry,
bad.
I don't
You're
like the
part of
non-binary
problem.
they them Ezra
Silence
Miller.
is violence, Donnie.
Yeah, but yeah, I haven't watched it yet. I'll probably sit down and watch it the same way I did. I'll half watch it like I did the Justice League movie.
Yeah, I watched the Snyder Justice League cut. Yeah, it was fine. I mean,
It was all right. I watched the first part of it, and I was like, it's all right.
It's another B minus.
So David Goyer is the writer for Nolan's stuff. He helped him write.
Yeah, he wrote Justice League before, like the.
He did
comic,
a bunch of stuff. He's doing Foundation right now.
Yeah, he wrote not Justice League. He wrote Justice Society for DC, like the comics, and then he wrote Blade.
Yeah, he wrote Blade. Did he write Blade?
Yeah, he wrote Blade.
2?
Yeah, I think it did. Hey, Blade 1 and 2 are great. I like them. They're good. I really don't
you and
consider
I, we
superheroes.
saw Blade
Blade
2 in
Trinity.
theaters
We saw
together.
Blade 2 in theaters, and that's where I just fell in love with Guillermo del Toro. After
Yeah.
that. I was like, who is this
Who is
wizard?
this
He
man?
wrote the screenplay for Jumper.
What's that?
Oh god,
Goyer, David S. Goyer.
Ugh.
He did Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance. He
That
did a
was
bunch
the-
of video game stuff. He
Spirit
wrote a
of
bunch
Vengeance
of
was,
Call of Duty stories.
Spirit of Vengeance was okay. It had that Sony jank though. You know the
Sonny
superhero jank.
Jank. Yeah,
Yeah.
He wrote the screenplay for Man of Steel. He wrote the TV series Constantine, which I heard was good.
I heard
like
Constantine
David
was good.
Goyer. Yeah.
Constantine now the Francis Lawrence directed one with Keanu Reeves. It's okay. It's not my favorite, but if it's on in the background, I won't turn it off or anything. Commercial.
So the important thing with Superman was for a while was for them to make him a man and make him relatable.
Yeah, because in Alien, you can blow your head off. If
And
you
the
wanted to.
important thing with Batman was for them to show his trauma and make him relatable. But one of the other cool archetypes that they've always played with in every Batman movie is fear.
Mm-hmm.
What could make a hardened criminal that's raping in an alleyway afraid of anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're that crazy and fucked up that you're out criming, he had to come up with something that would scare the bejesus out of them. Which bat or not, he looks like a huge demon with wings and horns, and it's a cute kind of a cartoony idea when you look back on it now. Like, hey, he's a scary horned demon thing. But I mean, now they're grounding it in reality.
you see that in a dark alley. Yeah,
yeah. With this one, he's he starts out with knee pads and a billy club. And
I haven't even finished the new Batman.
Really, you never watched the Batman?
I put it in, and then my dog hopped in my lap and fell asleep, and then I fell asleep, and then I woke up
watching
and
it
it was
right
credits.
You ancient
I'm
man.
watching the first 10 minutes right now.
I've seen
on
the
YouTube.
first 30 minutes of
Yeah.
Batman.
It was. So what I always said about the Batman is that it's like you're watching a really good Batman graphic novel. The story is basically a Batman graphic novel.
Yeah, I mean, from what I saw, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I want to go finish it.
Yeah.
It's just I need to find the time to finish it.
Yeah.
I thought Colin Farrell was kind of
Colin Farrell was great. Like everybody was good. In
Yeah,
it.
everybody's good in it.
Freaking Paul Dano as Riddler was so good.
He wrote a graphic novel about his character.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
They basically did a Zodiac. Like what if
sweet.
the Riddler was the Zodiac killer?
oh, wow.
Well, Colin Farrell's Penguin was so good, they're making a show out of it.
Yeah, they're
and that
making a
looks
show
good
about
also.
the Penguin. They were also supposed to make a show about the Gotham PD before Batman.
Gotham Central.
With Jeffrey Wright, I guess is.
Did you ever read Gotham Central?
Is what? No, I didn't.
That's fucking great.
Did you watch the Gotham show? Have you watched any of these?
I watched 2 episodes of Gotham and I was
CW.
like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I can't deal with this.
Yeah.
Cal Kestis is the Joker in that.
Yeah.
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 And then
And Barry Keogh is the Joker in the new Batman.
Keogh.
Yeah, the guy from the ugly Irish.
Oh.
But yeah,
But basically all those slow zoom moments of Batman next to someone's face going, I'm here, or I'm Batman, or
yeah.
fear
I am
me,
vengeance. Yeah.
or I don't have to save you or kill you
Yeah.
or whatever. It's just basically them playing with fear and going to a criminal, him coming up and going, I'm more fucked up than you.
Yeah.
You're not scary. My parents died and I'm rich and you have no idea what it's like as a rapist with my feelings, because I'm fear now, and you have to fear. He has to strike fear into the hearts of
Yeah.
psychos,
Yeah.
which is like my favorite Ali Sadiq thing about his stories about jail. He's kind of a wiry guy as a comedian. He's hilarious. He says in a fight it doesn't matter who's stronger, it matters who's crazier.
Yeah.
So if you're a fucking psycho and you're gonna grab nuts and scratch eyes, you might survive against a huge
Yeah.
bodybuilder.
Fight dirty.
Yeah.
I think the worst thing, because you have the Dark Knight like previews and stuff showing out here. I think the worst thing about the Dark Knight is that my brother wanted to tattoo something that Heath Ledger said.
Oh
on his
my
arm.
God. Why
So
so
that's
serious?
it.
So many. Your brother has ruined so many things for you.
I know. Like it's like when someone
Most
like
people
tattoos.
have a big brother and they teach them about Beastie Boys and
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's like
cool.
it's like when like a like influencer girl tattoos like
Oh, yeah.
to write love on her arms and stuff like that
Yeah.
on her arm. You know what I mean?
He was crazy, and she was just crazy enough.
Yeah.
God, the worst is the Jared Leto Joker with the Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst thing.
But the
that's
latest
come out of
Batman movie was basically The Flash. I mean, The Flash was more of a Batman movie than anything
Yeah.
else.
Mm-hmm.
But what's next? Are they doing another Robert Pattinson one?
Yes, they're
Yeah.
doing one more.
Yeah.
I think they're going to
Resting
throw it
bitch
under.
face
They're going to
Robert
throw it
Pattinson?
under like the DC Elseworlds thing.
Yeah.
you know?
That's
Okay.
kind of what it is. It's all.
Yeah, it's an
alternate
alternate
things.
That's
universe.
fine.
And then
I like it enough for them to keep doing that.
I'll watch it.
the first.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Sustained.
Yeah, the first James Gunn one is supposed to be Superman, and that's about the only superhero thing I'm hyped for right now.
Deadpool.
I'm still
3.
calling Donnie's
Wolverine.
Law.
We'll see.
All right. So this has been a lot of recording, and
Yay.
I think that I'm going to have some fun editing.
We're gonna parse it.
You're
Is it the
welcome.
master of
2
editing.
episodes there. The master of editing. My life, my rules.
Thank you for joining us, everyone.
Yeah, thanks. Hopefully this will be a couple episodes, and then we'll have more.
Oh yeah, you didn't let me plug my site.
Yeah, what's your site?
All right, so go to google.com. Just,
Yeah.
go Google shit. That's my site.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Google all the things that you
Google all
talked
the
about.
things we talked about. There you go.
Yeah. You'll find materials.
That's right.
Bye.